I start talking about my son. I'm like, oh, I could go on for an hour. You can believe that their name is like
Hey everybody, good evening. Welcome to CSC Portland. Nice to see everybody here. I hope all those people that cut you off suffer for eternity.
That was me.
That was you. Sorry. I'm Patrick, your host, general manager, co-owner here. Aaron Ketzenberg is with us tonight, and looking door and bartending. Both OLCC certified. Thank you. A couple of things about tonight's showcase. It is a student showcase, so we are here to support, not to heckle. Yes? Yeah. Awesome, thank you. Also, by appearing here this evening, you consent that your image may be used on the Zooms and the YouTubes from now to eternity for however much money we can make off of it. Yes? Awesome. This is about how much we make. Like and subscribe. Eventually we'll get to 1,000 and we'll start making 10 cents per stream. It's pretty awesome. Great classes once again this spring, led by Carl Wolfson, who is a 57-year veteran of the comedy circuit all around 45.
I just got back from the D-Day celebration over in Normandy.
Oh yeah. Yep. Cool. So my mom. Yep. Actually, you should choose 45. You should switch the number to 34.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's
I
good.
don't want anything to do with
Okay, then call it 47. Excellent. So Carl has been teaching here now for about 2 years, and the showcases have been spectacularly wonderful. Students have had a great time, audiences have had a great time, and we're very proud that he is teaching here and that you are here to support these folks. So thank you very much. Give it up for Carl Wolfson.
Patrick. This number I know. Patrick and Ruth have been teaching improv here and kept this place going for 30 years. Give it up for 31. And I've been teaching here for 52 years, so it's amazing. It truly is. And thanks for coming out tonight. I know it's a beautiful night in Portland. It's hard to get people out, but thank you for coming to support your friends, your family members. It's been an amazing. I'll tell you one thing about me before I bring up everyone. I'm not going to do any material tonight, but I have been doing comedy for 45 years and more than 8,000 shows, and it's a real pleasure to have young comics and people who are stepping in to what I think is a very necessary avocation to keep us all happy during difficult times. I'm very nostalgic about it. I was on Alan Thicke's show, Thick of the Night, every week, and Alan passed away suddenly. I was on Joan Rivers every month, and Joan passed away suddenly. I kind of wish I'd been on The Apprentice, but that's my one joke for the evening. My job tonight is to bring up these amazing students who have worked so hard over the past 7 weeks. We're going to get it started. He's not only hysterically funny, he's one of the nicest guys I've had in class. Please welcome Calvin Jennings.
Thank you, Carl. He's updating my Twitter bio and my Tinder bio, so he's really updating my Grindr profile. Don't tell anyone.
I don't know what that is.
I've recently lost 20 pounds. Unfortunately, it was betting on European football. I don't know if you're big sports fans out there, but there's actually two kinds of football. There is what most of the world plays, where a group of people kick a round ball with their feet, hence the football. Then there's American football. We almost exclusively don't use our feet at all in American football. We don't even use a ball. I Googled it. The shape of a football is a prolate spheroid. I've also recently been diagnosed with Ozempic, or prescribed Ozempic. So my asshole is also a prolate spheroid. But American football, if you're not familiar, a group of people hand off a prolate spheroid, throw it, try to knock out of the air, don't use their feet at all. In fact, once every now and again, a kicker will come onto the field, 1 out of 22 guys, kick the non-ball, the prolate spheroid. Most boring part of the game, so of course we call it football. Why? Fuck you, that's why. We're Americans, we have something called stick-to-itiveness. No matter how dumb shit of an idea, we're gonna stick with it. Football. No feet, no ball. Football. It's even, there's simple things too, like measurements. I don't know if you've ever measured anything. Every guy in here has. The rest of the world, for measurements, use kilometers. It's made up of 1,000 meters. In America, we use a mile. We're really good at math. I don't know how your education system was, but I'm a stud. I can do numbers in my head. It's made up of feet, 5,280 feet. Brilliant system. I would argue that a foot is a better system of measurement than a meter, because everyone has feet. Unless you don't have a foot, then you don't have to measure anything. Portland, that's not an ableist joke. I'm probably going to lose a foot to diabetes, so it's okay, I can make that joke. The one thing we all know about feet is they're all the same size. I wear size 13. Sir, what size shoe do you wear? Shit. Ma'am, what size shoe do you wear? Nailed it. Why do we call it feet? Fuck you, that's why we call it feet. Stick-to-itiveness. It's not just measurements, though. It's also when we measure weight. The rest of the world use kilograms. 1,000 grams make up a kilogram. We use pounds. Nice round number, 16. 16 ounces make up a pound. Once again, simple math, America's strong point. What's the difference between an ounce and a gram? About $150. Even before we were a country, we had stick-to-itiveness, though. When the first dummy found North America, he was trying to get to India, looked around, he's like, yeah, these are definitely Indians. 600 years later, we still refer to the indigenous people as Indians. 600 years later, why? Fuck you, that's why. Stick-to-itiveness. We know they're not Indians. They had fuck all to do with India for 600 years. Indians. They say in life, you need 3 things to be successful: money, power, respect. I disagree, mostly because I don't have any of those 3 things. I believe for success, I think you need kindness. It's not even a joke, I just believe in kindness. My instincts, if someone were to fall out of their chair, my instinct is to laugh at that person, not to run over like, oh my God, are you okay, having a stroke? No, I wish I was that person, but no, I'm an asshole. So I really believe in kindness. So I don't need money, power, respect, I'll take kindness, and then probably sandwiches. I don't know if you guys have ever had a really good sandwich, but fuck yeah. It's really the perfect food. Protein, vegetables wrapped in a carb. All the best foods are sandwiches. Hungover, McDonald's, breakfast sandwich. Throughout the day, there's a million different types of sandwiches. We all grew up on peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Burgers are sandwiches. Hot dogs are sandwiches. Pita pockets are sandwiches. Euros are sandwiches. Tacos are sandwiches. Fuck you, Portland. Tacos are sandwiches. Why? Because fuck you, that's why. Stick-to-itiveness. So I don't need money, power, respect. I'll take kindness, sandwiches, then probably coming. Oh, I don't know if any of you guys have ever orgasmed before, but I highly recommend it. good use of time, good wholesome activity. The only thing that makes that a little better, do that with someone else. Technically and functionally, it's a little more difficult, but payoff's great. I don't need money, power, respect. Give me kindness, give me sandwiches, give me an orgasm. I think I almost just orgasm and say it. So the other day, I almost had my perfect day. I went to my favorite sandwich shop, Chipotle's. Fuck you, burritos are a sandwich too. And I go get my chicken burrito sandwich and get the rice. I go with brown rice because I'm woke. Same reason I get the black beans, you know, I just see color. I just want beans, all beans. Pico de gallo, trying to be healthier, some lettuce, cheese, sour cream, hot sauce. I don't do well with hot sauce, I'm pretty white, but I'm trying to always impress the person on the other side of the counter, so I always get the hottest hot sauce. Just, you know, my prolate spheroid is willing to pay that price. Then they asked me if I want guacamole, and I said, fuck yeah, it's a Tuesday. Let's live a little, let's treat ourselves. Guacamole. Get to the register, beautiful young woman tells me she's not charging me for the guacamole. Holy shit. So all I need is kindness. There's nothing kinder than free guacamole. I need a sandwich. Fuck you, a burrito's a sandwich. And an orgasm. If a girl gives you free food, she definitely wants to sleep with you. So she asked if I needed anything else. I was all rizzed up. I was all looking forward to all the free guacamole I was about to enjoy. I said, can I have your number? She looked at me confused. Then sadness grew across her face. And then she pointed up to above her with this big sign that said free guacamole today. I sheepishly paid. I drove home, thought of the 100 different ways I could kill myself on my way home. But then I remembered, I'm a goddamn American, and if I'm gonna get free food from someone, I believe that they wanna fuck me. Because fuck you, that's why. Stick-to-itiveness.
Calvin Jennings, ladies and
You know, he writes stuff on the way to class, and he's always trying new stuff. Keep going with Calvin. He's fantastic. Keep it going. Calvin's second class with me. This gentleman coming to the stage now, we're going to keep it coming. He is also the second class with me. He's fantastic. Please, and he's done a lot of improv here, too. Please welcome Alex Brevet, ladies and gentlemen. Alex!
Everybody, happy Pride. It's a wonderful time of year, isn't it? It's fantastic. I love Pride. In fact, I've done this set, well, kind of this set once before, around this time, and it was a big, significant event for me. So I'm going to do it again with some tweaks. We're going to see it. It's Pride time, right? All of us, you know, when I was a kid, it's amazing how much diversity there is now in gaydom out there, right? There's so many different types of gays now. Before, it was like, you know, there's that weird gay guy, but now there's twinks, there's tops, there's bottoms, there's otters, there's bears. No, not like a bear, like a furry bear with a little tail. No, not that kind of bear. Bears are, you know, larger gentlemen with huge hearts, lots of little facial hair, and they're so nice, but it's like a class of gay person, right? Very specific type of gay person. I didn't find myself in any specific type of classification growing up. I was a quiet kid, I was an introvert, I didn't really have any sort of affections that were, one way or the other. I didn't understand that there were choices, right? I thought I was gonna fall in love with a woman and marry her, and that was how life was gonna go. I tried that a couple times. It's kind of like hitting a wall, you know? I got there and I'm like, this isn't very fun. I don't get this. So I kept trying, you know, that's what life, it's trying other things, trying new things, and I have found my entry into the gay classification system. All right? That's what it is. I got wait. All right, here we go. I'm a wolf. And hear me out. All right. Wolves, medium build, medium for fairly normal. Larger than dogs, right? I'm definitely larger than a dog. They like packs. I like group sex, so works out well. Oh, one other thing. I tie this too well. What else do wolves have?
Oh.
Oh. Tails! Whenever I was talking about bears, I was talking about, bears. But when I'm talking about wolves, I'm talking about wolves. I'm one of them. I'm one of those weirdos. And I bet you that, bears have a better time coming out than gay wolves, in my opinion. It's very difficult for a gay wolf to come out to their parents. It's kind of a double whammy. I've got a bit of a story, and it starts long ago in 2001. 23 years ago? Something like that, if cost count, but 2001, Chicago, Illinois, Midwest Fur Fest. Furry convention. It's a real thing. People out there are wolves like myself, and sheep, and goats, and owls, and marmosets, other types of animals. It's a whole gay menagerie. Furry conventions are a epicenter of people who have a difficult time talking to other people. We're talking about mascots here. They put on giant suits with foam, and it's really hard to talk, but it normalizes the playing field for people that have difficulty communicating. I'm being with all utmost sincerity here, furries are really awesome, but they're also fucking weird as shit. Like, here I am in Chicago, driving down the street, going to this convention. By the way, this is a freshman year of college. I'm a freshly minted adult, and I'm going to my first weird adult experience. And I go there, and I see a guy in a bird costume walking down the street in the middle of Chicago, right? It's just something that you don't normally see. It's kind of like a dildo on the moon. How did it get there? What's it doing there? Why is it purple? I don't understand. Someone spent that much money to get that up there? Why? Very similar, right? Also, fursuits are very expensive, by the way. Anyway, so I'm at this convention, and I meet Ian, the calico cat. No, not like a cat, but like an actual human adult person, like the kind of the bear thing we were talking about before. Ian, the calico cat, literally the person that took the ticket at the door for me, like literally the first guy I saw. And I'm hitting it off. It's great. It's fantastic. We're having a fun time. This is so exciting for me. But my parents don't know I'm gay. I'm very much closeted. I don't really understand being gay yet. I'm experiencing my world through a weird lens of having a tail and lots of other people in animal costumes around me. So, I don't know how to present this, but I'm just going with it. We're just trying new things, see what happens, see if we're gonna do okay, and it works out. I'm in love, and it's fantastic. So, well, let me give you a little bit of additional color to this convention. Now, conventions happen at hotels. They're geek conventions. Anyone else go to a geek convention? Any geeks in here? Yeah? Couple Star Trek conventions, board game conventions, lots out there. These are furry conventions, people that like to wear mascot costumes, all right? Now, we have dances. We have lots of activities, but we have dances as well. And I'm going to my first furry dance with my fantastic new friend, Ian the Calico Cat. And there just so happened to be another convention happening at this hotel at the same time. Can you guess what the convention was? The Naval Officers Ball 2001! Naval officers in their full naval regalia, admirals, captains, generals. Are those naval positions? I don't know what's military. But they were there with their wives and dancing, and they were drunk as skunks. Not as drunk as that other skunk, but they were drunk, and they wandered into our party, into the furry party. People dancing. And by the way, it's 2001. Who let the dogs out? Ooh, 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 ooh. Who let the dogs out? Ooh. That's what we were doing there at that time. And they wandered in, and they started dancing with us. Incredible, right? Dude in an Admiral outfit dancing with a fox, dancing, hanging out. Everything's going well. It's amazing, but, I really regretted not bringing a camera to that event. Can you imagine how many political careers I could have ended that night? Right? That asshole Republican dancing with a bear, a literal bear, dancing with a marmoset. Ugh. Anyway, that was the convention, and it wraps up, and I'm in love with Ian the Calico Cat. But I have to go home. It's time for a spring break, and this is a time before cell phones, 2001. So I had to give Ian the Calico Cat my phone number, but I had to give them my parents' phone number because I didn't have a cell phone yet. So I'm driving home, and a phone call happened. I wasn't privy to this phone call, but Ian called my dad. It was weird. I imagine it'd be weird. Probably something went like this. Hello, is Weil there? By the way, he didn't know my real name. Is Weil there? I don't know anyone named Weil. Are you sure this is the phone number? Oh yeah, this is the one he gave me. Okay. Are you sure? It's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Can you describe him? Yeah, well, medium build, bigger than a dog, likes group sex. Oh, you mean my son? Wait a second. So, I get home, and I have a conversation with my parents. This is actually not funny at all, because it was sort of a very, very bad time in my life, but it was a great time to begin with. But I got home, and weird things happened. I kind of double came out, right? I was both gay and a furry, and yeah, I couldn't score it with my folks, so it was a weird time for us. But there's this kind of question that was going on for a long time in my family. It's like, what did they dislike more? Was it the gayness or the furriness? And they swear it's the furriness, but I'm pretty sure it's the other way around. I think it's a bit of a scapegoat. Thank you.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I've been gay since the 5th grade that I knew of, and I didn't even know about furries. Did you guys? Well, keep it. This is like information as well as comedy, ladies and gentlemen. Come on. I came out like 40 years ago when it was just like gay or straight. That's the world I lived in, I came out to my mom and she said, well, we didn't have homosexuals in the 1950s. And I said, well, somebody put the fins on those Cadillacs. Somebody did those beehive hairdos. One more time for Alex. Yeah. He's got a lot more tail than I am these days. All right, so too easy. Coming to the stage now. Well, I looked up furries. I learned a lot. Coming to the stage now, one of my introductory students. She's really fantastic. I love her sense of humor because it is. I ask my students to go with your truth. Tell people who you are, what your life's all about. She certainly does that. Please welcome Rebecca Capurso, ladies and gentlemen. Rebecca! Come on!
Right off the bat that no matter what happens here tonight, I'm okay. I just need you to know that. I have resting panic face. I know this. And I know this can be concerning to some people, but it's fine. Anxiety is really my baseline at this point. And it's actually pretty helpful for getting out of bed in the morning, I will say. I mean, there's nothing more motivating than dread, you know? And I think, actually, without anxiety, I might be kind of an asshole. Really, because what else is there that's holding me back from telling people what I really think about them? So, you know, it's probably a good thing that I have to suffer a little bit. I'm okay. I'm okay. I have been told that I can keep a pretty straight face when I need to. And I think that's very true. I do have a pretty solid poker face that I can put on. And that is actually how I hold in all of the fear behind this poker face. Because, you know, there's some times where you have to be professional or relaxed. And, you know, you can't just go around everywhere looking like even though that's how you really feel inside. But sometimes I think I take it a little too far. Because the other day my coworker told me that when she first met me over Zoom, her first impression of me was, oh shit, she hates me. And I just laughed because she thought that this poker face was like concealing something negative, but she didn't know that I'm the kind of person that, you know, apologizes when someone else bumps into me. But whatever, I'm just mysterious, I guess. Modern mystery. This anxiety, though, is actually kind of helpful at work. Because I could go into a job interview, and if I was being blatantly honest, I could say, I will be really good at this job because I have the desperate desire to make everybody like me no matter what. So my boss said, you know, go clean all the bathrooms. I wouldn't say, no, I think that's the janitor's job. No, I would say, sure, I'll go clean all the bathrooms. Thank you for this opportunity. Like a little bitch. It's fine. It's fine. I'm okay. You know? Now, a big red flag in a job I have noticed is when you have to change the way that you eat because of this job. So, for example, cheese sticks. Okay, I used to eat cheese sticks like a civilized human, like, you know, peeling it, right? But after I started this job, I am ashamed to say that I have become a cheese stick biter. Yeah, this job is so time consuming that I just no longer have time to sit and peel my cheese sticks. So, I think that you should ask in your next job interview, how do people eat their cheese here? You'll get some weird looks, yeah. But wait for them to answer the question, okay? It's very telling. Also, have you noticed how they're making cheese sticks square these days? You know, usually they're round, so you can, they're like cylinders, you can peel them. But now it's like they're coming automatically squared, like they're being designed for just biting. And I think that is promoting capitalism. Because, okay, the average working American no longer has time to sit and peel their cheese sticks on the clock. No, now they are coming automatically square And the expectation, I guess, is for everybody to just deep throat them their 5-minute lunch break. Okay, I think that is the result of capitalism and the patriarchy. Yeah. Have you noticed? Doesn't it seem like our sense of time also has changed lately? Like things are just speeding up in general. We're just having to move faster and faster. An example of this that I have seen recently is the things that you will see people consume before 9 a.m. And I'm not talking about like expired frozen breakfast burritos. No, I'm talking about like the things when you see people walking down MLK early in the morning. People with their like can of radioactive Red Bull in one hand and then their 3-foot Slim Jim in the other. And they're just going. It's so early. It is so early for those choices. And yet here they are. Like these people are trying to do something with their day that is not supported by the average person's concept of time and space. And they're just going. And it's crazy because you can do that. You know, you can walk into a store and buy a full-size rotisserie chicken and eat it for breakfast, and no one will stop you. I think we have too much power. Anyway, that was the phenomenon that I witnessed on my way to therapy the other day. I know. I'm sure nobody's surprised to hear that I'm a regular. I think, actually, I'm probably going to name this set. My therapist is proud of me. No, but really, therapy's great. Anybody else, like, a therapy fan in here? Awesome. I will say that if the person you came here with clapped for that, there's a chance that they're probably talking about you in their session. Just saying. No, I love therapy. I love it for me. And I especially love therapy for you. Because it means that you're talking about your problems with someone else, not me. I mean, I don't know if it's just because I'm just like resting deer in the headlights look, or because I'm a chronic like people pleaser. But I just find that people come up to me all the time and will just tell me all the shit that's wrong with their lives. And that's fine, sometimes, that's cool. But other times I think to myself, like, there's people out there that, you know, do this for a living and charge a lot of money for people to come and tell them their problems, and, you know, I'm doing it for free, and I kind of come to the realization that I think some of you are therapy freeloaders. Yeah, like you probably know who you are. You're therapy thieves. But whatever. I'm okay. I'm fine with it. And it's not that I don't care. Okay, I care. It's just I usually don't have a lot of fucks left to give. Because I usually use them all on myself. Okay? I use them on thoughts like, did I embarrass myself today? Did I make the wrong decision? Does this headache mean I'm gonna die in my sleep tonight? You know, and before you know it, I'm just fresh out of fucks to pass around. And okay, maybe that's why I am the way that I am. It's like a biological defense mechanism. You know, it's sort of this deer in the headlights look, or, you know, looking like a stone cold killer with a poker face, depending on who you ask. It's like this mechanism is maybe making it so that I'm less likely to be approached by strangers who need therapy or salesmen, I guess. I mean, that's how it should work, I think. I do think that this mechanism is probably defective. So it would be great, if evolution could just hurry it up and make me another one. That would be really helpful. Yeah, but whatever. Just until that point, I just want to leave you with one final reminder that I'm okay. I think.
You got the first time on stage, ladies and gentlemen. She brought string cheese to class. It was really good. One more time for Rebecca. I've given up cheese since I met you. I've given up cheese and I gave up fast food. Give it up for me. Come on, I gave up fast food. I had it 3 weeks ago. I was in Burger King, ordered a burger. The woman behind the counter gave me the burger. Then she said to me, "Would you like to give to cancer research?" So I gave her back the burger. And thanks for getting that. Okay. Rebecca, great job. I've taught here for 2 years, I think well over 100 students. My age range keeps changing. We had an 83-year-old in class for a couple classes. He was amazing. And now, with this introductory class in spring quarter, I've had a 19-year-old, very precocious, very funny. Please welcome Jethro Rosen, ladies and gentlemen. Jethro!
All right, well, so my dad got me addicted to Oxy when I was 12, as fathers do. And I have some things to say about America's drug education system, okay? Because they made a lot of promises that they could not keep. I don't know if you all had this, but every year we had an assembly where it would just be some delinquent in like a Disney costume just out there, "Don't freebase crystal meth, kids," which is a rule I broke a lot, but... And another big part of it was they were always, trying to teach you to say no to drugs. And, it was always some weird, sketchy-looking guy in a trench coat with a, yet still very fashionable trilby. And, you know what, I'm very upset because no one was trying to sell me drugs. I couldn't, it was impossible. I was promised a sketchy, yet fashionably dressed drug dealer as a child, and it was not delivered upon. But that didn't last very long. Because I had this thing called a prison uncle, and he'll sell you Oxy. He might be dead now. He still will, though. I feel like I may have lost a view. Let me explain what a prison uncle is. A prison uncle, it's not an uncle that went to prison. It's someone your parent met in prison and then continued to be friends with outside of prison. And prison uncles will teach you a lot of things in life. The really important stuff, like how to break someone's arm with a towel, or exactly what an eighth of weed should feel like in your hand. They lived in a lot of cool places too. Bushes, parks. They could turn a tree into a mansion if you gave them enough pallets and time, and mainly meth. A lot of meth. Another great part about prison uncles is they're kind of like mad geniuses. If the entirety of a mad genius's education system was meth and public library physics textbooks. And I don't know about y'all, but I would pay so much more attention if my physics teacher was on meth every class. Here, it just...
Boom! Alright, today kids, we're learning about fucking Einstein, alright? Look at his hair, it's fucking awesome! Oh my god, he did time with like bombs or some shit. Holy fuck!
my prison uncle interacted with the world a little differently than you and I. I don't know if you could already tell that. So, this one time, about 7th grade, my dad, my prison uncle, and me, they were driving me to school. Well, not to school, to the bus stop downtown to catch that to go to school. And, you know, as we're pulling up to the bus station, we see the bus I need to catch is leaving. And so I get out of the car, they're yelling at me, you know, chase after the bus. So I'm running down the street, chasing the bus. My prison uncle gets out behind me, he's running down the street, he's chasing the bus. And as the bus rounds the corner, I turn around and I see my prison uncle go, "Ha-ha! You've just been fucked by the city of Portland. The city of Portland has fucked you." And the more time that goes by, the more I realize that the city of Portland will fuck you in a variety of ways. And an unnecessary amount of them involve shit. Just, like, I don't know what it is with this town, but the amount of times I've seen a homeless guy walk up to a business, just spread cheeks on the glass and we just, you know, it's our shit. All right, for this next story, I need to clarify a few things. This is called the Dave's Hot Chicken story. Now, for the purposes of this story, my friend that is the main character, we'll say, has requested that I use a fake name, and part of the agreement was that he got to pick the fake name. So, for the rest of the show, we will be referring to him as Giant Rod Wielder. Now, this story takes place on a fine June afternoon. Me and Giant Rod Wielder decided we were going to go get some Dave's Hot Chicken. And it was such good Dave's Hot Chicken that we decided we were going to go to a park after and enjoy the day. Now, specifically, we went to the park that's underneath the St. John's Bridge. We're down by the water, sitting, talking, and I turn around, and Giant Rod Wielder is looking at me like this. I've known this man since I was 5 years old. Never seen him look like that before in my entire life. And he looks at me and he goes, "I got a shit!" And so immediately I know this is a dire situation. I tell him to go look for a bathroom. There's no bathroom in this park, but god damn it, that man needed hope. I go get the car, and as I'm driving down to pick him up, I see that he's not back yet. And I get a ring on my phone, and it's Giant Rod Wielder. And I go to pick up my phone, and before I can even get it to my ear, all I hear is, "Dude, I shit my fucking pants!" So after I located Giant Rod Wielder, he had wandered down the tracks to some tall grass to wipe it up Mother Nature style. So I get the towel out of my trunk, go over and bring it to him, come back to the car, and I'm sitting and I'm waiting. He gets up, starts waddling his way over, and as he starts walking towards me, a TriMet officer rounds the corner from the building he was just violently shitting on and next to. And it's at this point that I look over and I realize he still has his shorts in his hand. And so I'm yelling at him, I'm telling him to drop the shorts. I don't know why he's keeping the shorts. I'm telling him to drop the shorts, but he won't. And his only response is, "Nah, man, cops." And so he gets around to the side of the car and he opens the door and he gets in. And there is now a fucking nuke in my goddamn car. No, a shit nuke. No, a schnook. There is a fucking schnook in my car. Now, just by the level of shit that is in the shorts alone, I know that we need to get out of here before this TriMet cop catches us, because at least one of us is going to jail, and it's probably going to be him. So I put the car into reverse. I start going 20 backwards up the hill. All the while, I'm yelling at him to throw the shit shorts out the window. And as I spin the car around, the schnook launches from the fucking window. It soars, zooms through the sky. It's soaring. It goes down. It's about to collide with a family's windshield as they're walking up. "Move the stroller, you old bitch, damn it." And as I'm driving away, I look in the rearview mirror as the schnook collides with this family's windshield. Hella poopy stank in their air vents, by the way. They ain't never getting that out. And I see a rustling from the bushes next to their car, and out pops my prison uncle, and he points at them, and he goes, "You've just been fucked by the city of Portland! The city of Portland has fucked you!"
Jethro Rosen, ladies and gentlemen. Great conversation. This November, if you're not sure who to vote for mayor, you can write in Jethro's name. I think you've been fucked by the city of Portland is a great platform. One more time for Jethro Rosen. First time on stage, 19 years old. I saw something today I've never seen in Portland. I saw a car with Washington plates going the correct way down a one-way street. That was amazing. Anyone from Washington? That was the audience den mother, ladies and gentlemen, speaking for all of you. The forewoman of the Trump jury, she's here now. Just move the show along, we're not from there. Thank you. I will say a great thing about Washingtonians. In 2012, on the same election day, Washingtonians approved legal pot and gay marriage. Give it up for them. Only state to do it. And they taught the rest of the country on that day that we were simply reading Leviticus incorrectly. It said if a man sleeps with a man, he should be stoned. Okay, so there you go. Coming to the stage, also the second class with me. He's just fantastic, got an amazing perspective on life. You are absolutely going to love him. Please welcome Philippe Tibet, ladies and gentlemen. Philippe!
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Carl. So for those of you guys who know me or who have seen my last set, you will know that I am Lebanese and I come from money. What you may not know is that I'm also French, which means I can be a little bit of a tight bastard when it comes to how I spend my money. Like most men my age, I spend a lot of time on YouTube, but as I mentioned before, I'm a little bit of a cheap fuck, so I've decided to opt out of YouTube Premium, which is their service which gets rid of all of the ads. What does this mean? It means that I've developed a relationship with the adverts. Okay, it's been a little bit of a journey, and I'm going to walk you guys through it. Some of these ads are incredible. I'm sure you're familiar with Liberty, 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 Liberty. I fucking hate that ad. So, you know, at the beginning, the ads are pretty generic. You're getting ads for things like voting in the upcoming election, helping to get plastic out of the ocean, solving for child poverty. Essentially, a whole bunch of shit that's completely irrelevant to me. Noble causes, but just completely irrelevant to my life. And like the start of most relationships, you just have to listen to a bunch of bullshit and then you hope that eventually you'll find some common ground. And we did find common ground. Over time, the YouTube, she got to know me a little bit better. You know? She got to know my kinks and my interests, and I started getting ads for like travel credit cards and luxury watches, shiny golf clubs. And I was like, wow, this is pretty awesome. I am pumped. This girl really is starting to get to know me. And sure, you know, sharing surface level interests is one thing, but I think we can all agree that a relationship really goes to the next level when you start to feel seen by the other person, right? I'll give you an example. So one day, I was doing some meal prep and I ran out of Ziploc bags. A few minutes later, I get an ad for Ziploc bags. And I'm like, wow, this is truly fucking incredible. This chick's amazing. How does she know about this problem of mine? And then I take a breath and I'm like, wait, how the fuck does she know about this problem of mine? It's a little bit creepy, right? I mean, like, I guess I'm not one to talk. I've been known to be the guy that will show up to a first date with having done extensive Instagram research on the person, asking very niche questions like, please, tell me about your 2019 trip to Thailand with your sorority sisters. Do you always get the pad thai with tofu, or do you sometimes do shrimp? Like, that's the level of detail that I've been known to go into. And so it's interesting to me because the reaction you get is solely based on the perspective that the person has of you, right? So you always almost get two reactions. The first reaction is, wow, Phil's so considerate. He's so observant. He pays attention to the details. The other reaction is, wow, Phil's a fucking stalker. Get the fuck away from him. In this case, you know, I let it slide. It was convenient to me, and I thought she was hot, so I was like, let's just slide with it. We'll go with it and see how it goes. The next part about a relationship that I think is important is that when you're in the right relationship, you can really start to learn about yourself. Oftentimes, the other person knows you better than you know yourself. And if you use that properly, you can really grow. And so one day I was watching a show, and an ad came on, and it was like, depression can be a real tough thing, but you don't need to go through it alone. Try BetterHelp. And I thought, wow, that's fucking grim. Must be some sort of a mistake. Maybe they just sent me a random ad. Didn't think too much about it. Couple minutes go by, and I get another ad, and it's like, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at begin to change. Try BetterHelp. And I was like, wait, holy shit. Is she prescribing therapy to me right now? And this would not be the first time that a partner prescribes therapy to me. I can't lie to you guys. But the difference is that this time, she got ahead of all of my excuses before I could even sprout them out. So it was like, next ad, boom. Are you worried about commuting to therapy? We have Zoom functionality for your convenience. Are you worried about spending too much money on therapy? We are in network with United Healthcare. It's just a $20 copay. Fucking hell, that's a good deal. Thank you. Oh man. Worried about finding the wrong fit or the right fit? Choose from thousands of therapist profiles to make sure you find someone you trust and respect. Any other excuses, asshole? Sign up at the link below. I was like, wow. You know, the last few months have been quite a roller coaster for me. I have to admit that. Maybe I should consider this. Yeah, no, I think I'm good. I think I'm just gonna go back to having dinner on my own, watching YouTube, Andrew Tate telling me what it is to really be a top G, and then just cry myself to sleep like I do every night. That feels like a much better decision for my long-term mental health. Thank you guys for the consideration, though. Skip. So that didn't work. And then I got another ad, different ad, for a brand called True Classic. Boys, I think you guys will know what this is, True Classic. It's a men's apparel company. They have funny ads. One of my favorite ones is, it goes a little bit like this. It's like, damn it, Gibson, why can't you be more like Johnson? He looks so damn good in that t-shirt, he can basically do anything he wants around here. So that's the level of marketing we're dealing with here. But when I got it, I was confused. And I was like, is this an indictment on the way that I dress? Or is it an indictment on my athleticism? Because essentially these shirts, I don't know if you guys know this, but True Classic is engineered to enhance the male physique. It's tight around the arms, chest, and shoulders, but loose around the belly. It's basically like an anti-dad bod t-shirt. And so I was like, shit, am I supposed to hit the gym or am I supposed to go shop somewhere else? I wasn't too sure. And I had real mixed emotions about this because I was like, you know, we've just started dating. And I feel like she's already trying to mold me into the man that she wants me to be. I don't know if I'm here for that yet. You know what I mean? I need to get your number after this. Man, I don't know if I'm here for it. So I decided I'm going to take a little bit of space and slow down a little bit. And I have to say, that did not go down well. Things got really, really, really ugly. And last week, I got an ad, and it was like, dealing with hair loss used to be tough. With Hims, it becomes simple. And I was confused and panicked, so I went to the mirror and I started looking at myself and checking myself out. I did a full 37-point check around my whole dome. And I figured, no, everything's in place. There might, it's true that I've been spending a ton of time with Carl and the other bald guys in this class. So maybe the algorithm just got fucked up. It is what it is, nothing malicious going on here. And then I get another ad, and it's like, are you having trouble with erectile dysfunction? Experience love at first bite with Hims hard mints. And that's when I knew that this whole thing was fugazi. I'm gonna let you guys in on a little secret. My shit is not the biggest, but it definitely fucking works. Right? Get that shit out of here, trying to gaslight me. It's fucking bullshit, man. Anyway, I want to just take a quick tangent on Hims. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Hims. They have one of the best business models you'll ever hear of. Basically, they sell you hair loss pills which cause suicidal thoughts. And then they sell you antidepressants which cause erectile dysfunction. And then they'll sell you erectile dysfunction pills which cause hair loss. It's fucking genius. By the end of the year, it's gonna be like the whole male population is gonna be like an army of Jeff Bezos just walking around, fucking bald, depressed, and not a working dick before the TRT. So yeah, things are looking great. Oh, and by the way, Calvin, they've added Ozempic to the line of products. I cannot wait to see how that fits in this puzzle of joy. The future is bright. So I just want to end this with perhaps the best ad I've ever seen. And it's very ironic, actually. It was like 6 months ago. I was sitting at work, having lunch on my own, watching YouTube, and I get an ad, and it's like 2 bald guys in referee gear on tricycles rolling around. And one of them goes, "Are you having trouble making your colleagues laugh? Sign up for a comedy class at Comedy Sports." www.totally.com. Thank you, guys.
Quebec, ladies and gentlemen, Philippe Quebec. Keep it going. I'm so glad he's in class because I'm wearing my True Classic shirt. It's loose around here. And one more time for Philippe, ladies and gentlemen. Well, a time to mention, if you want to sign up for summer quarter classes, we have one on Monday and one on Tuesday, a couple spots left in each. And we have so much fun in our classes, don't we? And
yes.
the person, Andrea, was the person whose number you might get, which would be news to her partner. But she will be on the showcases on the 20th or 23rd? On the 23rd. We have 2 more student showcases. Andrea is very funny. Give her a round of applause. So, I also want to mention this Sunday, only a few days from now, we're attempting to start Second Sunday Comedy here, where we'll have a headliner from Portland or elsewhere, along with a couple of my students from the class. And we want to establish this on the second Sunday of every month as a new comedy stage, a regular comedy stage here in Portland. We got a great show on Sunday. Susan Rice, funniest person in Portland several years ago. I've known her for 40 years. She's an incredible headliner. She'll headline the show. I'll MC it. A couple wonderful students of mine also on, Sarah and Chris. And that's this Sunday. You can buy tickets at portlandcomedy.com. All right, one more time for Phil. And let's keep this cavalcade of comedy going. Also, taking the second class with me, I love her. She's very funny and has a great perspective and a personal story. Please welcome Piper Davis, ladies and gentlemen. Piper!
because last time I forgot some stuff, so this is just my insurance policy. That helps save money. So I pride myself on keeping up with the latest trends. My most recent hot ticket, I got an ADHD diagnosis. Yeah. It's like whenever I tell anybody this, they're like, tell me about it. I think I have it too. And I'm like, fuck you, get your own diagnosis. I had to work for this shit. You see, my diagnosis came as part of my treatment for substance abuse. I'm the sort of person who got through the pandemic, well, wasted. You see, I'd always have enjoyed substances, but something about being locked at home, alone all day, dispensaries open on every corner, things got a little out of hand. And there was so much television to watch. I'd smoked some weed, I got into the smart shows, I started The Queen's Gambit, Atlanta, Schitt's Creek. But polygamy? Next thing I knew, I was watching Sister Wives. Stay sweet, pray, and obey. I was only like halfway through Big Love when I'd started my own detailed polygamy daydream. I wanted a sister wife. But sorry, then there goes the brain. Jeez, I have this. Okay, now the problem with smoking high-test weed multiple times a day is tolerance. But lucky for me, I found that alcohol, especially tequila, kind of bump it up. So I was able to keep the buzz going. Now, the tequila came with its own set of problems. Most significantly, recycling day. You see, I did not want my neighbors in on the bottle count. So, you know how on recycling morning you can hear the clank, clank of people digging through the garbage, looking for that 1 or 2 money bottle that you didn't separate out? Well, it might have been me, but I wasn't taking bottles out, I was putting bottles in. You see, I would walk around my neighborhood on the morning of the recycling day, redistributing tequila bottles into people's glass. I knew it was starting to be a little bit of a problem, and I talked to my therapist about it. I was sober all October, I was dry in January, but you know, it just didn't stick. And I got in this cycle where I'd go like 3 or 4 weeks, I'd be, you know, go off the weed, I'd be moderate with alcohol, and then, boom, I'd fall right back in the pothole. I was making daily trips to the dispensary, always buying one joint, one pre-roll, telling myself, today, this is the last one. But they were so nice to me there. Greeting me every morning, good morning, Piper. One day I walked in and on their chalkboard, it said, today's special, Piper's pre-roll. I was charmed, flattered, but I also was like, shit, this is really getting out of control. I started having these intervention fantasies. My friends and family collecting on a Zoom, talking to me earnestly, and then telling me about the rehab they were gonna send me to in Utah. I'd have this really awesome roommate there, in my fantasy, who was some like indie rock chick, super cute, and I was like, sister wife material. But no intervention in sight. I had to face facts and I sought help from a very unlikely source. My health insurance provider. Kaiser Permanente. I was prepared for lectures on abstinence and shame. I mean, I'd been to see my PCP, and when she asked about alcohol consumption, I'm like, oh, I have a glass of wine with dinner every now and again. She's like, well, you might want to look at that. Redistributing tequila bottles, yeah. But I just was amazed. What I got instead was this chemical dependency therapist named Lotus Teagarden. She is amazing. Tattooed everywhere, pierced everywhere else, and fucking awesome. Begin my work with her, one of my first sessions, I explain these cycles that I have. And I'm like, when I'm kind of on my second or third, I start to ramp up. I start getting super energetic. It's like my brain is, an engine that's being floored. I tend to start big, exciting projects that then I walk away from. I told her about my podcast, my sandwich consultancy, the hours of food content I created for my Instagram feed. I even told her how I got into cleaning the basement for a while. She looked at me and she's like, have you ever been screened for ADHD? And I'm like, no. And so I have to say that getting this diagnosis or achieving this diagnosis is seriously one of the greatest accomplishments of my adult life. Because when you have ADHD, getting mundane shit done is hard. And you'd think that the good people of Kaiser Permanente would know this. But they have a screening process that is downright Byzantine. You have to download an app. You have to make an appointment with a behavior specialist. And then when you're on with it takes forever to get to the behavior specialist. Then you'd have to log back on, they ask you a few questions, and then they say, well, I think it's appropriate for you to take the self-assessment. And to do that, you're going to need to log on to this other website with a unique username and password. Nothing sends an ADHD person directly to their Instagram as quickly as the words unique username and password. But eventually, with some time, in fact, 3 months, 4 unique username and passwords, several series pothole episodes, I got to the screening. And when I started to read the questions, all of a sudden this flood of memories of report cards and professors' comments and workplace reviews came flooding in. You see, I took every question and turned it into a statement. The first question was something like, do you have trouble finishing complicated projects once the exciting parts are done? And I read, Piper has trouble finishing projects. Piper needs to get organized. Piper needs to listen to what other people are saying and listen to instructions. I passed with flying colors. And 2 weeks later, I was filling my first prescription for Adderall. Now, the thing is, for some of us to get off the drugs that aren't working, we need ones that are. And it was just a few more sessions with Lotus that it became quite clear that I had, for my lifetime, basically reached for weed to shut down my dysregulated brain, and overdone it with the alcohol, probably to smooth over some of that low self-esteem and shame. You see, a lifetime of parents telling the same fucking story at the dinner table about how every report card Piper ever got talked about her talking too much. You know, the kids on the playground teasing me for being sent to the principal's office again. Everybody calling me Hyper Piper. But at least they didn't know I was a bedwetter. Since I've started the Adderall, I have hardly had a craving for weed. First time in like 40 years. I'm done with the day drinking, not even having wine every night. Things are feeling pretty good. But the alcohol management still is a work in progress. You see, a lifetime of shame and low self-esteem is gonna take some time and therapy to get over. I mean, shame is a real motherfucker. But I'm working on it. I'm here telling these stories in front of you all, complete strangers. But just please, if you run into her, don't tell my mother.
Piper Davis, ladies and gentlemen. Our classes were so much fun. Piper brought weed, and it was a Tuesday night class, so Calvin brought free guacamole for everyone to put on the weed. It's just a banquet of comedy. One more time for Piper Davis. Good stuff. I ask people to start comedy with their truth and let people know immediately who they are. And have a big round of applause. Everybody so far. We have a couple more acts, but give everyone a round of applause. So far. All good. Next gentleman joining us, also his second class with me, very brilliant guy. He's an author as well as a budding comedian. Please welcome D.P. Shane, ladies and gentlemen. D.P. Thank you, Carl. Let's give another round for Piper. Yes, I'm D.P. Shane. I am an author. I'm an actor. I grew up in California like a lot of people did. Maybe too many people. In the San Francisco Bay Area, well, I'll cut to the point. I'm a moderate politically. In the San Francisco Bay Area, people would look at me like, some kind of conservative asshole. And I got tired of that, so I moved out to Central California, and the job was kind of working out that way. And there, I got to experience being a liberal asshole. And, time went on, and I just got tired of being an asshole for other people, so I moved here. And since moving here, it's been really great. I've learned a lot of new stuff, and it's the hard part is trying to figure out who to vote for, because I'm moderate, and things here are a little radical. I tuned in to the Democrat channel, and there it was the midterm elections, and the lady who was running as a Democrat was going to go to Washington, and she owns a auto repair shop. So that was her thing. She was going to go to Washington and throw a wrench into the works. And I'm thinking, great, more government that doesn't work. So I turned the channel over to the right and picked up the Republican guy, and he was saying that, to connect public transportation between Vancouver and Portland would be tantamount to creating an Antifa superhighway into Vancouver. Which is stupid. Everybody knows if Antifa's going to invade the Couve, they're going to ride their bicycles. I mean, come on. So after that, I couldn't figure out who to vote for. And I met a woman. It's like, well, you meet a woman, you don't really have to vote, right? She was beautiful. I mean, she was a little bit older than I am, red hair, blue eyes, figure of a dancer. And I mean, on our second date, we started talking about music. And she was really into the AC/DC cover bands. And I told her I loved live jazz. And I told her about a night back in the 1980s when I was in the Coast Guard in Norfolk, Virginia. And my shipmates and I went to an all-black nightclub. And the jazz there was amazing. I mean, you could only hear that sound if you were in that club on that night, because after that it was over. It was just amazing. And she looks up at me with those glacier blue eyes and she says, well, I'm not a racist, but. And she kept talking.
And the more she talked, the more I thought about that butt. And it was just, the more she talked, the bigger that butt got. It was like inflating all by itself. It's just, after a while, I realized that there was just gonna be no future for me in that butt at all. I could not deal with that. Well, I mean, for one thing, I come from a mixed family myself. I mean, it's like, you know, to go out with a woman like that would be like flipping my stepbrother off. So I went on the interweb and went on this dating site and I met somebody. It was, okay, great, you know, still old, but I'm getting it. And she said she was 52, but she lied. She was really 42. And she made up some excuse. It really didn't make too much sense to me about why she lied about her age, but then she came back with that I was a boomer. And she is a millennial. And everything that's wrong in this world is my fault. Challenger, Discovery, they're both my fault. Air pollution is my fault. Climate change is my fault. The World Series is my fault. I mean, I know that other countries invite other countries to their World Series, but hey, you know, I mean, we've got this, you know, thing that we do over and over again, no matter how stupid it is. I'll let my friend here talk about that more later. But John Cougar Mellencamp was my fault. Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, George Herbert Walker Bush, they're all my fault. Ronald Reagan was my fault. Richard Nixon was my fault. I was 11. But anyway, as all things go, you know, I'm not doing too bad. I mean, despite all the fuck-ups I've performed over the years. My name is D.P. Shane. I'm a writer, and I'm really sorry about everything.
Apology not accepted. D.P. Shane, ladies and gentlemen. D.P. Shane. Yeah, I get the Hindenburg was my fault, so thank you, the three people who know about the Hindenburg. Thank you so much. Lakehurst, New Jersey, thank you so much. Keep it going for D.P. Shane, my friend. We have two more performers. Where can you sign up for class or learn more about classes, improv or stand-up? It is PortlandComedy.com. You guys are so good. I love it. PortlandComedy.com. All right, our next guest, second class with me. She is very funny, a talented actress as well as comedian. Please welcome Jennifer Bloom, ladies and gentlemen. Jennifer!
Super excited to be here. Wow, look at all of you. There haven't been this many people gathered together to laugh at me since high school gym class. Hey, you only paid $5 for this comedy, all right? So suck it up. No, I have always wanted to be a performer. Ever since I was a little girl, I knew that I wanted to be an actor. You know, I kind of fancied myself something of a kind of a shorter, more sarcastic version of Carol Burnett. You all know Carol Burnett, right? Comedy icon from the 60s to today. Most famous for her variety show, right? Where she would make her castmates like Tim Conway crack up and break character. It was awesome. And, you know, for those of you who don't know who Carol Burnett or Tim Conway are, look it up. What am I, Google? But I grew up in the hills of western Pennsylvania in the 70s and 80s. Fun times. And when you are somebody who you know, in a small town in Pennsylvania, a rural town, really not known as a hub of culture. I mean, if you wanted culture, you went down to the county fair and saw the monster truck rallies, right? Theater was at the local bar watching two drunk women fight over some sad sack loser who was two-timing in both. Now that's theater. So what do, right? You're a kid who loves, who's striving for culture or the arts. You don't really know that because you're not exposed to it. So you turn to high school, right? High school, you had the plays and the musicals, but my high school, there wasn't funds for the arts. Please, any kind of discretionary funding went to the athletic department. Although, truth be told, Blue Ridge really wasn't known as a hub of athletic ability either. I mean, you were considered a winner if you survived the weekend from all the drinking and driving. Right? Although those breathalyzer tests were really the only time the football team got a 4.0. So win-win, right? Although they did try, they tried to come up with they came up with some cash or some money to put on a school musical. Okay, here we go. We're gonna do a musical. What do? Now we gotta figure that out, right? So there was some talk. Okay, let's stick with what we know, right? We can make Deliverance into a musical. That's good. Well, that wasn't gonna fly, right? There was some talk of Fiddler on the Roof, a classic, but that would have been too controversial. So what they decided to do was turn Fiddler on the Roof into Redneck on a Trans Am. Instead of yarmulkes, they all had mullets, right? It was good for minutes of enjoyment. So, when you're in high school and you're a girl who loves the arts, you look to people who have similar interests, right? So, I do what you do. I fell in love with the one boy that I shared that in common who loved the arts. I mean, he was beautiful, like gorgeous hair. And we had so much in common, right? We both loved to sing. We both loved Barbara Streisand. We both had John Stamos posters on our walls. It was awesome. And you know what? I always could rely on him. I just had to find which locker he was shoved in that day. And he was a perfect gentleman. His mother raised him right. He never made a move. Not once. So I go on from high school into college. But I go to a small rural agricultural college in Pennsylvania, Mansfield University. Shout out, woohoo, Mansfield. And when you go to a small college and you study theater, you don't really specialize because there aren't enough people, right? So you do everything. You perform and you do props and costumes and you build sets. Well, they made the unfortunate decision of making me prop master for their big musical, Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street, right? Now, all was going okay until the night, the big opening night. I'm in the backstage area, in the dark, and they give me the fog machine. One thing you should know about me, you should never give me anything mechanical. It's not good. So there I am in the dark, and I'm doing what I do. I'm pushing buttons, and I'm pulling switches, I'm pulling wires. And instead of fog, out came sparks and smoke. So unbeknownst to the cast, who were on stage with the big production of City on Fire, they had no idea how close that actually came true. So once again, I'm in college, and I fall in love with my fellow actor, right? Oh, he was beautiful. We had so much in common again. We both love to sing, both love Barbara Streisand, we both got giddy watching Dirty Dancing, woohoo! And perfect gentleman. Not a move. So I graduate from, are you catching up here? So I graduated with my degree in one hand, and basically I had the skill set that said, I could say with a little style and panache, would you like to hear about today's specials? That's what I was skilled with. I actually did manage to get a job as an assistant director for a professional theater company in Woodstock, New York. It was a gay theater company. I was the only straight person in a sea of lesbians, which was fine, but it was at that, it was at, lesbian. So it was at that moment in my life that I had an epiphany, and I realized if I was going to continue with my career, my passion in the theater and the arts, I was never getting laid. Ever. So anyway, I moved to Portland, and here in Portland, I actually got a job with a murder mystery improv dinner theater troupe. That's a lot of words. And it was a lot of fun, but here's the thing. I learned recently, taking Carl's class, that apparently improv is the lowest form of comedy. So thank you for that, Carl. Thank you for that. But anyway, so I'm doing murder mystery dinner theater. Yeah, very, very high class stuff. And we got a contract with the Department of Defense. So we went we toured with the USO in the late 90s during the Kosovo conflict. So there we are in Bosnia. There are 6 of us go to Bosnia to entertain our troops, and we're driving along this war-torn country on a huge luxury tour bus, right? And right on the front window was our poster with a hand and a huge bloody dagger. So we're driving through Serb country with a huge bloody dagger on the front of our bus. So, and I'm thinking to myself, this is just what you want in war, right? Murder. Again, you only pay $5, all right? So I don't know where your expectations are. So we actually go to Sarajevo, where the NATO base is stationed, and so not only are we entertaining the American troops with our murder mystery, there's also the Italian troops, the German, the Irish, and the French. And so we're just kind of sitting around before a show, and I'm sitting with some French soldiers, and one of my castmates walks by, and granted, I didn't like the guy, he's a little bit of a tool, I know that, but I can make fun of him, nobody else can, just saying. And so he's walking by, and my French friend was like, "Oh, you Americans, you think you're so great. You're just so loud." And so I turned to him and I said, "Well, I'm sorry, Philippe, wherever you are." Sorry, Philippe. Just apologizing. I said, "Do you want to know what the Americans think of the French?" "Oh, I am so French. I am going to drink my wine, eat my cheese, make love to women, and piss on everyone else, because I am so French." Oh. And he said, "Well, but of course, we are the best country in the world." Well, I'll give you that. I mean, you do have all that wine, so there you go. So I leave. Well, that was nice. So I leave. We come back from the tour, and I actually managed to. I auditioned and was offered the role of Emily Dickinson in The Belle of Amherst. And The Belle of Amherst is a one-woman show. So it's just me for 2 hours and 72 pages of monologue going blah, 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 Emily Dickinson, blah, 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 blah. Actually, I had to learn 72 pages of the monologue, because it's just me. And the only thing I remember is one little piece. Surgeons must be careful when they take to the knife for underneath their fine incisions lies the culprit, life. I think it's kind of cool. That's the only thing I remember. So anyway, it's Friday night, it's coming, I'm getting ready, super excited, and then during the day, my mouth starts to really hurt. And I don't know if any of y'all have experienced dental pain, but it is agony. And you can't think of anything else. And this also happens to be the night that the Willamette Week was going to come and review the show. Well, it's a frickin' one-woman show. There's no understudy. And you're in show business, right? There's no canceling. The show must go on. So I'm like, all right, I'm a trooper. I'm going to do this. So I pop like 5 Tylenol. I strap on that corset. And I get up on stage, and I'm doing this motherfucker. We're going for it. It's all Emily. It's game on. And I speed through that 2-hour play in I think like 30 minutes, right? But I did it. And I go home and whatever. The next day, the review comes out from the Willamette Week, I don't know where my mouth's going, and it said, one wants to like Jennifer as Emily Dickinson, but she spoke so fast, I couldn't understand her. And I'm like, well, yeah, asshole, you try reciting a dead poet with a dead tooth and see how that goes. So it was at that moment that I realized, I'm an actor who actually likes to eat. I'm an actor who wants a roof over my head. So I did what comes naturally. I transitioned from the theater into human resources, which is where I am now. And I am definitely not getting laid.
Jennifer Bloom, ladies and gentlemen. I've known Jennifer since college. I was her best friend, and I still haven't made a move on her. Jennifer Bloom, ladies and gentlemen. Jennifer Bloom. Our final performer tonight, also a great guy, second class he's taken with me, extremely funny way to anchor the show. Please welcome Chad Harder, ladies and gentlemen. Chad! Oh my God! Maybe he was her best friend.
Wow, unbelievable.
A man in a gown, you don't see that. Wow, this is a little awkward. I thought I was speaking at our comedy graduation, which means that I'm not the valedictorian, which is not going to be good for you guys. I was going to talk about how magical comedy was, and I guess I'll still say that, I'm a frickin' wizard, because comedians are like wizards in the sense that they take a bunch of words and they make magical things happen. Comedians do the same thing. They put a bunch of words and you involuntarily laugh occasionally. So I guess it's kind of the same. For those of you who are not really familiar with comedy, there's several levels of comedy. There's the first level of comedy, which are the headliners. And while you might have to mortgage your house to afford a ticket to go see Jerry Seinfeld, you're guaranteed great laughs. And then there's just half a step below that. And they're the really solid working comedians that you might not know their name, but you recognize them. People like Carl. Solid, amazing, and did I say that right, Carl?
You're still being held back.
Okay. And then I know that you think that we've gone wizard, so everything else is divine. More divine comedy, actually. It's that 7 layers of hell that keep going down further and further until you get to the Student Comedy Showcase. Welcome.
I think there are some universal truths about comedy and life. And the first universal truth is that a lot of us become comedians when we have this thing called a midlife crisis. And our midlife crisis is part of either avoiding therapy, not having enough money for a Corvette, or not having enough money for a girlfriend that's half your age. And so with that, we're here. And we charge $5 for that. It's kind of like a zoo. You get to see middle-aged men and women in their natural habitat as comedians. I'm not sure if that's all that funny, but welcome to my hell. So the first rule that Carl taught us was never to punch down. And because of that rule, I had to really think. And then I realized that I don't have a lot of self-confidence or self-worth. So I couldn't figure anybody that I could punch down on. But then, it got pointed out by several other people in the class that I'm a middle-aged white guy at the height of my earning potential, and I was screwed. And so, luckily, I have cancer. So that was one place where I was able to kind of even things out. But cancer really wasn't enough. I needed some serious street cred. So I went gay. And that was pretty great because I thought it would be a lot of work to go gay. Turns out, not sleeping with men is the same as not sleeping with women. Yeah, my life has been full of wonderfully humorous moments. When I was 13, my dad's boss and his 13-year-old son and other siblings went to Hawaii. We all went to Hawaii for a month. And within a couple of days, we found out that the older brother, who was kind of swanky high school age guy, we were just 13, had found a girlfriend at a nudist beach on the other side of the island. Now, being 13, both of us realized that it was worth tracking halfway around an island to see a bunch of naked people. And I gotta say, the more we hiked, the more amazing these people were going to be, because we put in a lot of work. And as we crested this rock outcropping of this private beach, we looked over. So not everybody was gay, but the people that were not the people we wanted to be seeing. There was a lot more flesh than in our fantasy. It was not a good thing. And so, I think that our expectations were set high, but we found a universal truth. And the universal truth is that when on a nudist beach, the people you want to see naked seldom are. Which is also a lot like somebody giving a comedy thing in a gown and not knowing what they're wearing below it. But, I am wearing an extra large gown, so you can guess whether or not you want to see more. Yeah, I gotta say, when I was 13, though, I just wanted to see tits. And I know tits is not a great word, but when I was 13, tits was the best word ever. And so I got down on my knees by my bed and I prayed, God. And I think God has a sense of humor and a lousy sense of timing. So I said, God, all I want is a pair of tits that I can play with anytime I want. 30 years later, man, life is not fair. Yeah, the 11-year-old me was quite a baller, by the way.
So my friends and I would all go out into these mountains and hang out. And one day we found a cave. And inside that cave were some very magical magazines. They made us feel some new things that 13, 11-year-olds didn't normally feel. And they were pretty awesome. So we took those down from the mountain, kind of like, the Ten Commandments, and mixed them with our stash of National Geographic torn out pieces. And we stashed them in our room, and it was great. My friends would come over, they'd look at them, and we'd have these funny feelings that we weren't quite ready to deal with. Well, long story short, I almost got caught with porn in my room. Porn being Playboys. And so I got very concerned, and it scared me, and I decided to go cold turkey from porn at 11. So I took all of these images, and I put them in a box. And I wrapped the box in plastic, and I dug a hole in my backyard at my parents' house, which was not unusual in the 80s in Spokane, Washington, where there was nothing better to do. And so I put this box full of porn down into the hole, and I was done. And that should have been the end of my story. But the neighborhood dogs were watching me dig the hole. And they were curious about what was in that hole. So they took and dug everything up. And then they played tug of war with the box full of these naked images. And yeah, my cornucopia was torn open for the neighborhood to see. And my mom came in and she said, "Do you know anything about all the naked pictures all over the neighborhood?" And I said, "Absolutely not, Mom. I have no reason why you would think that." And then I looked out the window, and it was a windy day. And there was a tornado going across our neighborhood. And at that time, my mom handed me a little piece of cardboard with our return address on it, and a couple of pieces of naked people stuck to it, and said, "I think you know where this came from." So, as I ran all over the neighborhood, pulling people's bushes out of bushes, I was filled with shame, and my neighborhood was never the same again. So, thank you very much for being here for my graduation. I was surprised to see everybody else.
Give it up for Ken Harder, ladies and gentlemen. Of all my students, Chad Harder has the best porn name of all. All right, I want all the students to come on stage tonight. Give them a big round of applause for putting themselves out there. Calvin Jennings, Chad Harder, Elise Quebec, C.P. Shane, Piper Davis, Alex Bouvet, Jethro Rose, and Rebecca Capurso, and Jennifer Bloom. Give them all a big round of applause. They all graduated. Pass that down around. Thank you guys for showing up to support them. It's a lot to put themselves out on stage. I think they did it great. Keep it going. Sign up for the class or find out about all the shows coming up at portlandcomedy.com. Thanks for coming. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. And don't forget the improv. I love improv. I never said that.